Ready for a journey through Hollywood's most provocative images, from sizzling swimsuits to daring costumes, that once rattled TV censors? Brace yourselves. We're exploring 60 iconic moments that pushed boundaries and redefined glamour. Let's dive in. 1. Marilyn Monroe's subway great scene. In 1954's The 7-Year Itch, Marilyn Monroe gifted the world one of cinema's most unforgettable moments, the subway great scene. She stands above the grate in a white halter dress as a sudden gust flutters the skirt, revealing her legs and igniting instant controversy. While filming, crowds and cameras alike clamored to witness this audacious spectacle, causing traffic jams and frenzy. What made it truly captivating was Marilyn's innocent yet flirtatious reaction. Although it appears playful now, the image was initially deemed scandalous, with some critics condemning its overt sensuality. Nevertheless, this scene cemented Monroe's status as the era's leading bombshell, turning a playful breeze into a pop-culture hurricane. 2. Jayne Mansfield and Sophia Loren's dinner party. In 1957, Beverly Hills hosted a dinner party that became legendary, thanks to Jayne Mansfield and Sophia Loren. Photographers captured a candid moment, Mansfield sporting a plunging gown, and Loren casting a sideways glance at her revealing décolletage. Loren's expression, some say a mix of amusement and disbelief, transformed an ordinary Hollywood soiree into tabloid gold. Mansfield's confidence in flaunting her assets added fuel to the gossip columns, which went wild over the two actresses' contrasting styles. At the time, women's cleavage in public was still considered racy, and Mansfield's willingness to push boundaries showcased her fearless approach to fame. This single snapshot remains a timeless testament to vintage Hollywood's playful daring. 3. Rita Hayworth's Gilda pose. Rita Hayworth's role in 1940's excess Gilda forever changed Hollywood's perception of sultry glamour. Her character's striptease scene, tame by modern standards, was explosive then, with censors on alert for moral infractions. In promotional images, Hayworth donned a sleek, strapless black gown and exuded a confident, brazen allure. Cinematic audiences had rarely seen a female lead display such open sensuality, and critics immediately labeled her a femme fatale for the ages. Beyond mere scandal, Rita's portrayal revealed an independent spirit, an unapologetic woman challenging the era's softer female stereotypes. Her Gilda pose, head tossed back, hair cascading, became iconic, propelling Hayworth to international stardom as the ultimate wartime pinup. 4. Brigitte Bardot on the beach. Brigitte Bardot, a French sensation, rocked the 1950s and 60s with her free-spirited style. A beach photo showing her in a bikini, barefoot, sun-kissed, and carefree, started a culture shift. Europeans deemed bikinis bold, but Americans considered them scandalous. Bardot's unabashed confidence in wearing two-piece swimwear challenged conservative norms, inspiring younger generations to embrace more revealing beach attire. Beyond her physique, Bardot's appeal lay in her refusal to conform. She projected independence and spontaneity that resonated with a youth shaking off post-war constraints. 5. Elizabeth Taylor's Cleopatra costume. In 1963, Elizabeth Taylor merged mythic opulence and personal glamour in Cleopatra. Her regal gold gown, plunging neckline, form-fitting silhouette, enraptured audiences. The film's mammoth budget and scandalous behind-the-scenes drama, including her affair with Richard Burton, elevated her costumes to legend status. In one memorable still, she lounges in lavish Egyptian decor, every curve highlighted by shimmering fabric. The public marveled at her ability to convey both regal command and seductive flair. Critics initially found the film excessive, but Taylor's mesmerizing presence sold tickets. 6. Bettie Page's pinup photos. Bettie Page redefined 1950s pinups with an irresistible mix of sweetness and naughtiness. Images of her in black lingerie, flashing a coy smile, ignited controversy for their playful but borderline risque nature. Some shots also ventured into fetish territory, bondage, whips, and stockings, unheard of in mainstream culture. In a conservative era that frowned upon women's sexual agency, Bettie's beaming face and confident poses represented a bold statement. She embraced unconventional themes and captured the imagination of underground art circles. Though overshadowed by moral panic and censorship battles, Bettie Page eventually gained cult status for pioneering self-expression, influencing modern burlesque, retro pinups, and pop culture aesthetics. 7. Anita Ekberg in the Trevi Fountain, La Dolce Vita, 1960. Federico Fellini's La Dolce Vita immortalized Anita Ekberg's midnight wade through Rome's Trevi Fountain. Swathed in a strapless black dress, she roamed the fountain's cascading waters, exuding mystery and a dash of recklessness. This carefree, sensual act symbolized the film's exploration of hedonism and existential ennui. Traditional censors balked at a woman playing so boldly with taboo, but audiences embraced her daring. The fountain scene remains an iconic freeze-frame of Italian cinema's flamboyant spirit. Ekberg's role transcended mere beauty. She represented a modern, unrestrained feminine identity that teased the boundaries of conventional morality and seduced viewers into a dreamlike vision of Roman nightlife. 8. Ava Gardner's bathing suit pose. In the 1940s, a photograph of Ava Gardner posed in a form-hugging one-piece swimsuit caused quite a stir. Though the swimsuit concealed more than modern bikinis, it emphasized her hourglass figure and radiant confidence, enough to unsettle censors. Gardner had begun her ascent in modest roles, but this seductive beach image propelled her into the limelight, showcasing a fearless glamour. She balanced sweet southern charm with palpable sensuality, ushering in an era where actresses could embrace a bolder image. Gardner's film career soared in classics like The Killers and Magambo. The photo's success stemmed from her unaffected grace, an unpretentious vibe that promised both approachability and star power. 9. Jean Harlow's satin dress. Jean Harlow's shimmering satin dress from the early 1930s was a beacon of sophistication and scandal. Nicknamed the blonde bombshell, Harlow epitomized unfiltered sexuality at a time when most leading ladies softened their image. Her sleek gown, clinging to every curve, defied traditional, conservative silhouettes. Paired with a come-hither gaze and platinum hair, the ensemble ruffled critics' feathers, as it suggested a raw sexuality that was rarely addressed so openly on screen. Moviegoers, however, flocked to see more of this groundbreaking star. Harlow's unrepentant style and keen comedic timing made her a box-office powerhouse, reflecting a shifting cultural appetite for empowered, self-assured women who refuse to hide their allure. 10. Lana Turner in The Postman Always Rings Twice. In 1946, Lana Turner scorched the screen as Cora Smith in The Postman Always Rings Twice, wearing a tight white top and shorts that left little to the imagination. For a black-and-white film era, this bold costuming accentuated her figure and stoked controversy. The plot's themes of adultery and betrayal already pushed boundaries, so Turner's provocative attire amplified the film's intensity. Audiences found themselves simultaneously entranced and scandalized. Critics labeled her too brazen, but the public's fascination soared, making the film a noir classic. Her portrayal of a seductive yet dangerous woman remains a testament to post-war Hollywood's shifting moral codes and the growing appetite for riskier storylines. 11. Grace Kelly in Rear Window. Grace Kelly's role as Lisa Fremont in Alfred Hitchcock's 1954 thriller Rear Window showcased her immaculate style. Donning an elegant white dress, she drifted into James Stewart's apartment with a quiet but commanding grace. Hitchcock loved playing up her icy blonde persona, and the fitted bodice plus floating skirt contrasted with the film's tension. Off-screen, Kelly was a rising star with a modeling background, swiftly gaining fans through her poise and understated sensuality. This picture crystallized her brand, high-fashion refinement tinted with intrigue. Soon after, she left Hollywood's bright lights for royal life in Monaco, demonstrating that her real-life story could eclipse even the most glamorous script. 12. Hedy Lamarr in Ecstasy. In 1933, Hedy Lamarr starred in Ecstasy, a European film featuring scenes that defied contemporary moral boundaries. A particularly stirring photo showed Lamarr in a revealing swimming scene, one that would have been banned on many American screens. Beyond the controversy, Lamarr's mesmerizing gaze and sculpted beauty dazzled. Critics labeled it scandalous, but it catapulted her into Hollywood's orbit, where she landed roles in Algiers and Samson and Delilah. Interestingly, Lamarr wasn't just a pretty face, she was a prodigious inventor who co-developed frequency-hopping technology. Today, her photo from Ecstasy stands as a double-edged symbol of both her enthralling screen presence and her intellectual depth. 13. Rita Moreno in West Side Story. Rita Moreno burned up the screen in 1961's West Side Story, dancing in colorful dresses and swirling skirts that mesmerized viewers. A still image captures her in mid-motion, arms wide, eyes bright with passion, emblematic of Anita's vivacious spirit. At a time when Latinx representation was scarce, Moreno's star power shone fiercely, culminating in an Academy Award win for Best Supporting Actress. Her portrayal balanced fiery energy with emotional nuance, revealing depth far beyond a cliché spicy role. By embodying strength and sensuality, Moreno opened doors for future generations of performers. This iconic photo remains a testament to her artistry, fueling hope for more inclusive storytelling in Hollywood. 14. Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca. In 1942's Casablanca, Ingrid Bergman played Ilse Lund, radiating a delicate mix of hope and regret. The film's black-and-white cinematography amplified her luminous beauty, best captured in a moment where she gazes yearningly at Humphrey Bogart. Despite her angelic demeanor, Bergman was no stranger to controversy. Her affair with Roberto Rossellini sparked public outrage. However, none of that overshadowed her irresistible talent. Her eyes conveyed heartbreak and devotion without uttering a word. Casablanca's success turned Bergman into a global icon, adored for her quietly powerful performances. This image, hat angled, shoulders tense, perfectly encapsulates the film's romantic tension and remains a staple in classic Hollywood montages. 15. Vivien Leigh in Gone with the Wind. Vivien Leigh's portrayal of Scarlett O'Hara in 1939's Gone with the Wind became a defining moment in cinematic history. Donning elegant hoop skirts, voluminous sleeves, and fiery expressions, Leigh embodied the Southern belle with ferocious determination. In one legendary image, she clutches the red earth of Terra, eyes fierce with survival instincts. That visual underscored her ability to meld steeliness with vulnerability. Audiences were entranced by her luminous face and unapologetic attitude, fueling the film's success. Though controversies swirled over the film's portrayal of Southern history, Leigh's performance transcended debate. She secured an Oscar and cemented an enduring legacy as one of Hollywood's greatest leading ladies. 16. Mae West in a feathered gown. Mae West burst onto the 1930s scene with her trademark blend of cheeky humor and jaw-dropping style. In one iconic photo, she lounges in a lavish feathered gown, arching an eyebrow that hinted at comedic mischief. Known for razor-sharp double entendres, like "when I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm better," West flouted moral codes of her day. Critics blasted her bold innuendos and showy curves, but fans couldn't get enough. She championed female sexuality when Hollywood's production code stifled such expression. This glamorous image, enveloped in feathers, epitomizes West's brand. Defying naysayers, she elevated sex appeal into witty empowerment, forever changing comedic roles for women. 17. Jane Russell in The Outlaw. Howard Hughes pushed censors to the brink with Jane Russell's portrayal in 1943's The Outlaw. A publicity photo showed Russell reclining on hay, her blouse undone to showcase her ample cleavage. Its explicit nature rattled moral guardians of the era, posters were pulled, and heated debates ensued. Nonetheless, the film garnered massive curiosity, and Russell's sultry visage ignited a new level of Hollywood marketing. Far from a mere pinup, Russell also held her own with comedic flair and strong screen presence. She'd later star in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes alongside Marilyn Monroe. The Outlaw snapshot endures as a testament to boundary-pushing promotion and a star unafraid to challenge taboos. 18. Rita Hayworth's pinup photo. As World War II raged, GIs plastered lockers and barracks with Rita Hayworth's pinup photo, transforming her into the conflict's unofficial morale booster. In the image, she reclines gracefully in a delicate, lacy negligee, brunette waves cascading around her face. That direct eye contact exudes both warmth and simmering allure. This was no frivolous pose. Hayworth's pinup soared beyond mere glamour, symbolizing hope in dark times. While moral critics frowned upon the suggestive nature, fans adored her confidence. Years later, Hollywood historians still cite it as one of the most famous pinups ever printed. For countless soldiers, she became the radiant embodiment of home and the promise of better days. 19. Sophia Loren in a bikini. In the 1950s, Sophia Loren posed seaside in a revealing bikini highlighting her hourglass silhouette and luminous smile. For many, the garment itself was borderline scandalous, as showing so much skin on film or in photographs remained frowned upon. Yet Loren's self-assured posture imbued the image with class rather than mere titillation. Her Mediterranean allure transcended cultural boundaries, and she quickly rose to international fame, winning an Oscar for Two Women. The photo, widely distributed in magazines, showcased a woman unafraid to embrace her sensual side. Loren's journey from Naples' slums to global stardom underscored her resilience, offering viewers an empowering glimpse of how elegance and confidence could shatter outdated norms. 20. Audrey Hepburn in Breakfast at Tiffany's. In 1961, Audrey Hepburn introduced Holly Golightly to the world, glamorized by a little black dress, elbow-length gloves, and a long cigarette holder. While not overtly sexual, the refined style carried rebellious undertones, a single woman thriving in NYC, unapologetic about her parties and suitors. That slender black gown and updo, topped with a dainty tiara, became a fashion staple, memorialized in countless recreations. Smoking on screen also stirred mild debate, as censors worried about glamorizing a vice. Nonetheless, Hepburn's allure was undeniable. She balanced innocence with a devil-may-care aura. This iconic image continues to define cinematic elegance and reveal women's longing for independence, style, and adventure. 21. Lauren Bacall in To Have and Have Not. Lauren Bacall's film debut alongside Humphrey Bogart in 1944's To Have and Have Not introduced a new brand of femme fatale, cool, husky-voiced, and irresistibly captivating. A famous still from the film shows Bacall in a fitted dress, eyes brimming with self-assured sensuality. Their sizzling chemistry burned so brightly that it overshadowed censors' apprehensions. Audiences were spellbound by Bacall's brazen confidence, delivered in lines like, "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve?" She and Bogart carried that spark beyond the screen, marrying soon after. While some found the film's undertones borderline inappropriate for broadcast, the public devoured the pairing, forging a new standard for on-screen magnetism. 22. Greta Garbo in Queen Christina. In 1933's Queen Christina, Greta Garbo portrayed the titular Swedish monarch who occasionally donned men's attire. One still captures her in a regal coat, short hair, and a gaze that transcends traditional femininity. The film subtly addressed gender fluidity and implied romantic tension between female characters, risky subjects for the pre-code era. Critics and censors fretted over the unladylike portrayal, but viewers were entranced by Garbo's commanding presence. She projected an androgynous mystique that hinted at deeper complexities beneath the royal facade. Despite some backlash, the film cemented Garbo's divine status. Decades later, her performance remains a milestone for exploring identity and gender roles in mainstream cinema. 23. Marlene Dietrich in Morocco. Marlene Dietrich challenged Hollywood norms in 1930s Morocco, famously donning a tuxedo and bestowing a kiss on another woman. The scene jolted audiences unaccustomed to seeing a woman claim masculine attire and same-sex affection. Dietrich's razor-sharp cheekbones and confident smirk signaled that she wasn't simply playing dress-up, she was rewriting the rules of on-screen femininity. Critics labeled her dangerous, but the public grew entranced by her audacity. Her performance bridged elegance and subversion, illustrating that glamour could encompass fluid expressions of identity. Over time, Dietrich's tuxedo scene became iconic, affirming her as a pioneer of sartorial boldness who redefined what it meant to be truly chic and fearless. 24. Ann-Margret in Viva Las Vegas. 1964's Viva Las Vegas paired Ann-Margret with Elvis Presley, generating on-screen electricity that threatened to overload TV sets. A publicity photo exhibits her in a form-fitting dress with a playful twist, swirling around the dance floor while matching the King's pulsating rock tunes. Known for her vivacious red hair and dynamic movements, Ann-Margret embodied a modern twist on the wholesome ingenue, brimming with overt sensuality. Though the film's storyline was simple, the duo's chemistry caused pulses to race. Some found it too hot for home viewing, further boosting ticket sales. Ann-Margret's exuberant style in that swirling ensemble remains a testament to 1960s youth culture, bridging sweet innocence and rebellious flair. 25. Veronica Lake in Sullivan's Travels. Veronica Lake's peekaboo hairstyle was the talk of early 1940s Hollywood, particularly in Sullivan's Travels, 1941. One iconic photo frames Lake tilting her head, blonde tresses draping seductively over one eye, delivering an enigmatic charm. Audiences found her half-hidden gaze equal parts beguiling and edgy. Beyond looks, Leigh demonstrated comedic and dramatic range, showcasing depth beneath the signature hairdo. Studio execs recognized her magnetic brand but tried molding her into the next big star. Despite typecasting, Leigh's cameo in this comedic gem remains unforgettable. The style she flaunted spawned countless imitations, though censors worried it seemed dangerous in its quiet suggestion of rebellious independence. 26. Marilyn Monroe in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Marilyn Monroe revisited the pin-up realm in 1953's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Draped in a fuchsia satin gown with a massive bow, she crooned diamonds are a girl's best friend while dancing. The scene's over-the-top sparkle, bedazzled jewelry, long gloves, and male dancers all in tuxedos, delighted viewers but unnerved TV censors for glamorizing female materialism and overt sexuality. Monroe's wide-eyed, playful performance made the number iconic. She projected humor, innocence, and shrewd cunning all at once, suggesting that desire and ambition weren't mutually exclusive. This pink dress moment has since been parodied and honored by countless stars, reflecting Monroe's lasting influence on musical fantasy and big-screen allure. 27. Elizabeth Taylor in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. As Maggie the Cat in 1958's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Elizabeth Taylor ignited the screen with ferocious passion. A still image shows her in a form-fitting slip, exuding frustration and yearning. Tennessee Williams' script bristled with tension, while Taylor's luminous features and unstoppable energy amplified each scene. She balanced raw vulnerability with feline cunning, leaving audiences breathless. Though the film's adapted script toned down references to sexuality, Taylor's portrayal offered hints of what lay beneath Maggie's frustrations. Critics lauded her ability to bring depth to a once one-dimensional femme. The resulting performance not only earned acclaim but crystallized her as a fearless star unafraid to tackle social taboos. 28. Lauren Bacall in The Big Sleep. Following her smashing debut, Lauren Bacall reunited with Humphrey Bogart in 1940's excess The Big Sleep. A promotional still features her clad in a sharp suit, crossing her legs, brandishing a smirk that spelled danger. The famed synergy between Bacall and Bogart soared, with viewers enthralled by their banter laced with innuendo. Some lines were cut before the film's release, as censors found them too risque. Nevertheless, Bacall's image as a poised, no-nonsense woman in a man's world remains compelling. Her deep voice and confident stance revealed a new blueprint for strong female leads, seductive yet self-governing, a hallmark that left a deep imprint on the noir genre. 29. Joan Crawford in Mildred Pierce. Joan Crawford's Oscar-winning turn in 1945's Mildred Pierce saw her portraying a devoted mother-turned-savvy businesswoman. One iconic image captures Crawford at a kitchen table, wearing a tailored dress, her face etched with ambition and sorrow. This layered performance shocked some who knew her for glamorous roles. Mildred was gritty, complicated. Censors and audiences alike had to grapple with the film's depiction of maternal sacrifice, murder, and moral ambiguity. Crawford's steely determination and unstoppable willpower resonated with viewers seeking more complex heroines. No longer just a fashion plate, she proved her dramatic mettle. The film revived her career, leaving an indelible example of feminine resilience mingled with raw vulnerability. 30. Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday. 1953's Roman Holiday turned Audrey Hepburn into global royalty. As a princess escaping her duties, she glided through Rome, riding a Vespa, sporting a pixie cut, and flashing spontaneous grins. A press photo highlights her carefree vibe, white blouse and full skirt swirling. Audiences fell in love with her combination of innocence and bravery. Censors found nothing lewd, yet the sense of a royal rebelling against tradition was deemed spirited. Hepburn's effortless grace and comedic timing won her an Oscar, establishing her as a beloved star. Long after, fans hail Roman Holiday for introducing a new type of leading lady, modern, earnest, and endlessly charming. 31. Clark Gable shirtless in It Happened One Night. 1934's It Happened One Night propelled Clark Gable into heartthrob territory with a scene revealing his bare chest. Decades before men routinely appeared shirtless on film, Gable's relaxed, muscular frame caused an uproar. Women swooned, men started ditching undershirts. Supposedly, sales of undershirts dipped nationwide, the so-called Gable effect. The comedic storyline might seem tame now, but glimpsing a star's exposed torso in that era felt scandalous. For Gable, it elevated him to alpha leading man status, forging a path for future Hollywood hunks. This comedic gem also won multiple Oscars, proving a dash of skin, and potent on-screen chemistry, could enchant audiences and critics alike. 32. Sophia Loren's daring dress at the 1957 Oscars. Sophia Loren's arrival at the 1957 Academy Awards in a plunging neckline gown made jaws drop. The chic, floor-length dress clung to her figure, elegantly cut but shocking to conservative viewers. Photographs captured her radiant smile, while onlookers murmured about the brazen show of cleavage. In an era that favored demure silhouettes, Loren's bold couture signaled a cultural shift toward embracing female curves. She was already a sensation in Europe, and this red carpet choice magnified her global stardom. Some critics labeled it too risque, but the public's intrigue soared. Loren's unwavering poise illustrated that elegance need not hide sensuality, sparking a new wave of sophisticated boldness in evening wear. 33. Greta Garbo's smoldering stare in Flesh and the Devil. In 1920's silent film Flesh and the Devil, Greta Garbo showcased a look so intense it radiated through black and white frames. A still shot reveals her smoky gaze, full of longing and quiet power, directed at John Gilbert. No words needed, her eyes conveyed desire, fear, and a fearless curiosity about passion's boundaries. For a conservative audience, this raw expression stirred excitement and moral panic. Critics called it scandalous, but viewers made Garbo an overnight sensation. This smoldering stare typified her trademark style, understated, yet electric. By refusing to play nice, Garbo unlocked a new realm of screen intimacy and realism, carving out a niche for mysterious, modern heroines. 34. Rock Hudson in a swimsuit. A candid 1950s photo showed Rock Hudson poised by a pool, donning a snug swimsuit that accentuated his athletic frame. For a leading man typically seen in tailored suits or romantic comedic settings, this relaxed summer look felt shockingly intimate. Fans swooned at his chiseled torso and confident smile. Industry gossip suggested some networks considered such images too risque for general audiences, further fueling interest. Hudson, known for star turns in Pillow Talk and Giant, balanced wholesome charm with subtle allure. This rare glimpse of him off-duty offered a behind-the-scenes authenticity, building his status as both a dreamy rom-com lead and a more complex figure hidden from public scrutiny. 35. Paul Newman in Cool Hand Luke. In 1967's Cool Hand Luke, Paul Newman's rebellious persona crystallized in one iconic photo, shirtless, arms folded, flashing a half-smile that spelled defiance. The scene exuded raw magnetism, forging an instant archetype for the charming outcast. Newman's electric blue eyes and rugged features, combined with the film's anti-authoritarian undercurrent, enthralled a nation teetering on social upheaval. Some TV stations hesitated to broadcast certain images, fearing they would glorify insubordination and indecency. Yet fans devoured the film's unflinching look at personal freedom. Newman's performance spanned humor, heartbreak, and resilience, anchoring him as a symbol of the changing cultural tide, where men could be sexy, flawed, and idealistic all at once. 36. Marlene Dietrich's legs in the Blue Angel. Marlene Dietrich's 1930 breakout in the Blue Angel showcased more than just sultry vocals, her legs became a focal point in scenes brimming with cabaret decadence. One photo in particular features Dietrich seated, legs crossed, exuding supreme confidence. Her short costume and smoky gaze were practically an assault on conventional modesty. Audiences found themselves entranced by the combination of taboo allure and her haunting performance of falling in love again. The attention didn't wane off-screen. Tabloids debated whether Dietrich's unabashed sexuality corrupted moral standards. Meanwhile, she reveled in her newfound stardom, redefining how an actress could command attention purely by elevating a leg and an attitude. 37. Dolores Del Rio's exotic beauty in swimsuits. During Hollywood's golden age, Dolores Del Rio stood out for her distinctive features and gracious style. Photos capturing her in swimsuits, perhaps near a sunlit pool, celebrate her luminous figure and regal composure. Since revealing attire remained taboo, such images stirred intrigue. Yet Del Rio, with her refined poise, framed these photos less as cheap titillation and more as an homage to timeless beauty. A Mexican actress who starred in both American and Mexican cinema, she defied stereotypes and soared to international acclaim. Her confident gaze illustrated that a woman's elegance could coexist with sensual representation, marking her as a pioneer among Latina performers in Hollywood's predominantly Anglo environment. 38. Mamie Van Doren's cheesecake photos. Mamie Van Doren carved a niche in the 1950s and 60s through flirty cheesecake photos that pitched her as the playful sex symbol of the era. Dressed in bikinis or tight-fitting outfits, Van Doren's poses radiated winking mischief, with a come-hither expression that teased viewers' imaginations. This approach garnered a fanbase hungry for candid displays of female allure, though critics labeled them tacky or exploitative. Undeterred, Van Doren capitalized on her bold image, starring in films like Untamed Youth and Girls' Town. She embraced the idea that women could control their narratives, choosing how to flaunt their bodies rather than letting moral codes confine them. 39. Carole Lombard's lingerie photos. Carole Lombard, famed for comedic brilliance in My Man Godfrey and Nothing Sacred, also posed for lingerie shoots that were shockingly intimate in the 1930s. Typically draped in satins or lace, Lombard projected an air of poised sophistication, balancing demure glances with undeniable sensual flair. The photographs, set against plush boudoir backdrops, signaled a confident woman unafraid to show her softer side. Critics frowned upon the open display of undergarments, but Lombard's genuine smile defied the era's constraints. She recognized that pinup photography could celebrate feminine beauty without stripping away dignity. As she soared into comedic stardom, those early, risque images remained a testament to her fearless spirit. 40. Claudette Colbert's Milk Bath, The Sign of the Cross, 1932. In Cecil B. DeMille's The Sign of the Cross, Claudette Colbert played the Roman Empress Poppaea, indulging in a luxurious milk bath scene. Reclining in a giant marble tub, her form draped in minimal cloth, she exuded languid decadence. For 1932, this display of near nudity was downright incendiary. Religious groups condemned the film, labeling its depiction of ancient Rome as scandalously licentious. Yet audiences flocked to see the taboo teased on screen. Colbert's performance combined old-world elegance with modern audacity, capturing the hedonistic lure of empire. This scene remains one of early Hollywood's boldest visuals, exemplifying the pre-code penchant for provocative extravagance. 41. Tanya Roberts as Sheena. Tanya Roberts roared into 1984 with Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, sporting a leopard print outfit that was more revealing than protective. On posters, she posed amid lush greenery, exuding Amazonian authority. Critics bemoaned the skimpy costume, bare midriff and high-cut briefs, calling it borderline exploitative. Yet fans admired Roberts' commanding physique, complimenting her athletic silhouette and fearless stance. Based on a comic book heroine, Sheena represented a female warrior unafraid to lead. Although the movie didn't top the box office, the iconic visuals persisted, embodying 1980s fantasy escapism. Her costume's provocative design remains a reference point for female action roles that fuse empowerment and sensual flair. 42. Sharon Tate in Valley of the Dolls. In 1967's Valley of the Dolls, Sharon Tate's portrayal of Jennifer North introduced a soft-spoken starlet grappling with fame and addiction. A particular still highlights her in a sheer nightgown, eyes haunted by vulnerability. While the outfit is far from overtly graphic, it symbolized the film's raw depiction of Hollywood's darker edges, beauty battered by exploitation. Tate, tragically murdered in 1969, left behind a brief but memorable body of work. This image resonates with viewers for its poignant innocence amid swirling chaos. Critics of the day debated whether such frank emotional darkness was suitable for public consumption, but for many, it marked a turning point toward more realistic portrayals of showbiz tribulations. 43. Jayne Mansfield in The Girl Can't Help It. Jayne Mansfield's appearance in 1950's success The Girl Can't Help It sealed her reputation as the era's playful blonde bombshell. A signature shot shows her in a tight, low-cut dress shimmering under stage lights. She brazenly displayed ample curves at a time when censorship boards enforced strict guidelines. Mansfield was anything but subtle, using comedic timing to lampoon the notion of the dumb blonde. Audiences giggled at her comedic flair while fixating on her figure. Some theaters worried the film's marketing suggested too much sex appeal. Ultimately, Mansfield's brazen persona set her apart, embedding her in pop culture as a comedic seductress who relished breaking taboo boundaries. 44. Raquel Welch in 1 Million Years BC. A 1966 poster featuring Raquel Welch in a fur bikini became an instant phenomenon. In 1 Million Years BC, Welch battled prehistoric creatures while sporting scanty, tattered cavewoman attire. The combination of cinematic fantasy and her sculpted physique mesmerized fans, overshadowing the film's sparse dialogue. Critics called the costume blatantly exploitative, but it propelled Welch to global stardom. The image, legs planted firmly, arms poised for survival, exuded a primal strength rarely seen in mid-60s screen sirens. Her portrayal bridged sex symbol and action heroine, expanding the realm of roles women could command. Though not revered for high art, the film's iconic visuals endure as a pop culture benchmark. 45. Kim Novak in Vertigo. Alfred Hitchcock's 1958 masterpiece Vertigo showcased Kim Novak in a mesmerizing dual role. A promotional still captures her in a chic suit that emphasizes her curves, surrounded by the film's swirling illusions of identity. The storyline addresses obsession, so Novak's carefully crafted image, icy blonde hair, form-hugging silhouette, reinforced the haunting atmosphere. Some networks deemed the swirling dream sequences and intense psychological tension too adult for primetime TV. Novak's quiet performance emanated an eerie magnetism, captivating viewers and challenging simplistic tropes. Her look symbolized both glamour and disquiet, elevating Vertigo to a classic of moody mystery and confirming Novak as a subtle siren in post-war cinema. 46. Ursula Andress in Dr. No. In 1962, Ursula Andress appeared on a Caribbean shoreline wearing a white bikini in the very first James Bond film, Dr. No. Emerging from crystal-clear waters, seashells in hand, she exuded a confident sex appeal that instantly propelled her to iconic status. This bold two-piece underscored Bond's own brand of grown-up adventure. There was no going back. Moviegoers were simultaneously mesmerized and scandalized, as the shot was considered more revealing than typical mainstream fare. For Andress, it unlocked a global spotlight, branding her as the quintessential Bond girl. The scene's popularity has been parodied and revered ever since, illustrating how a single bikini moment can reshape cinematic archetypes. 47. Sid Charisse in Singin' in the Rain. In the 1952 musical Singin' in the Rain, Sid Charisse performed a show-stopping ballet sequence with Gene Kelly, sporting a shimmering green flapper dress slit daringly high. The beaded costume's sparkle accentuated her long legs and elegant lines, capturing the audience's imagination. The choreography demanded intimacy and physical closeness that some believed pushed family-friendly boundaries. Yet Charisse's razor-sharp precision and serene poise left watchers awestruck. Critics praised her for bringing refined sensuality to mainstream musicals. Despite censors' mild concerns over the outfit's revealing cut, the routine soared as a celebration of dance, cementing Charisse's place among Hollywood's finest triple-threat talents. 48. Donna Reed in From Here to Eternity. 1953's From Here to Eternity showcased Donna Reed in a role that diverged from her typical wholesome characters. A still captures her in a tender embrace with Montgomery Clift, presenting a raw emotional undercurrent. Though she wore a modest dress, the scene's adult themes, infidelity, wartime disillusionment, provoked censors. Reed's portrayal of Alma earned her an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, revealing unexpected range and a willingness to shatter squeaky-clean images. In a period that favored sanitized romances, the film's candor about passion and heartache demanded heavy editing for TV broadcast. Reed's success indicated that audiences were craving more complexity, both in female roles and in Hollywood narratives overall. 49. Lana Turner in a low-cut gown. A 1940s black-and-white photo showcased Lana Turner in a plunging gown that accentuated her curvaceous figure. Not only was the neckline more daring than usual, but Turner's confident posture radiated self-assured glamour. In that era, showing cleavage teetered on taboo, so certain TV networks refused to broadcast images capturing Turner's revealing ensemble. Yet fans admired her boldness, applauding the star for fusing timeless beauty with modern assertion. Turner leveraged this flair for risk, continuing to flourish in roles that balanced romance and seduction. The photo, frequently reproduced, stands as a snapshot of shifting Hollywood attitudes where subdued modesty increasingly made way for unapologetic allure. 50. Errol Flynn shirtless on the beach. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling hero of films like Captain Blood and The Adventures of Robin Hood, appeared shirtless on a 1930s beach, uncommon for male celebrities of that decade. The snapshot captured him lying in the sand, muscles defined, tanned from the sun. Women swooned over his devilish grin, men envied his dashing confidence. Gossip columns, quick to capitalize on Flynn's roguish reputation, suggested the photo hinted at real-life escapades. Despite initial shock from conservative corners, the image underscored a gradual acceptance of men embracing physicality on screen. It also contributed to Flynn's legend as a carefree spirit who effortlessly blended heroism and sensual charm. 51. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers in a daring dance pose. Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were the epitome of dance elegance, but one promotional still from the 1930s or 40s sparked whispers, the pair locked in a sultry dip, bodies pressed close. Although the duo typically conveyed classy refinement, this pose showcased an intimate grace that flirted with impropriety. Astaire's steady hand on Rogers' back, her arched posture, and the swirling of her dress created an enchanting spectacle. Audiences adored their chemistry, but some felt it crossed a subtle line. Ultimately, the partnership soared on screen, blending spirited tap routines with refined sensual tension. Their daring pose remains emblematic of their ability to fuse artistry and romantic allure without uttering a single word. 52. Julie Newmar's Catwoman costume. In the 1960s Batman TV series, Julie Newmar pounced into pop culture as Catwoman, wearing a glossy black catsuit that hugged her form. With a gold belt accentuating her waist and a cat-eared mask hinting at mischief, she slinked around Gotham City with playful villainy. Television executives fretted over its tightness, fearing it might expose too much, yet the public devoured every sly moment. Newmar expertly balanced campiness with a seductive edge, forging an archetype for future comic book vixens. Her look, part feline stealth, part runway glamour, became a visual staple. Decades later, fans still hail it as one of the small screen's most iconic costuming choices. 53. Rita Moreno in a bathing suit. A luminous shot of Rita Moreno in a stylish one-piece bathing suit underscores her effortless grace and captivating beauty. The cut, though modest by today's standards, was revealing enough in mid-century Hollywood to raise censors' eyebrows. Moreno's confident pose projected self-assured glamour, her Puerto Rican heritage infusing the image with vibrant warmth. Already recognized for her dancing and singing talents, she wielded her star power to challenge stereotypes about Latinas. This particular bathing suit moment showcased her comfort in her own skin, bridging the gap between old-school pinups and a more modern sense of body positivity. Fans saw not scandal but brilliance, highlighting Moreno's unstoppable presence in entertainment. 54. Eleanor Powell in a daring dance costume. Eleanor Powell, known for lightning-fast tap routines, occasionally donned outfits that bared more leg or midriff than the norm in the 1930s. In one famous shot, sequins glisten while she posed with a confident grin, revealing toned limbs. Her discipline and artistry soared beyond mere showiness, but censors labeled her costumes provocative. Powell's impeccably timed footwork and unstoppable energy overshadowed moral fuss. She helped evolve musical cinema, demonstrating that female dancers could match men in athleticism and style. Though overshadowed by bigger studio-backed stars, Powell's glittery legacy, where motion and glamour collided, remains an inspiration, bridging the gap between vintage spectacle and modern performance boldness. 55. Brigitte Bardot in And God Created Woman. Released in 1956, And God Created Woman stunned global audiences with Brigitte Bardot's portrayal of a sensual, headstrong woman. Images from the film highlight Bardot wearing revealing swimsuits, sunbathing with little care for societal taboos. Her carefree mambo dance sequence was particularly incendiary, censors slammed it as licentious. Yet Bardot's raw magnetism shattered conventional boundaries, confirming her as a rebellious star who championed personal freedom. The film's success opened global eyes to French cinema's frank handling of sexuality, and Bardot's presence sparked a wave of emulation. She single-handedly ushered in an era of greater honesty on screen, forging an iconic brand of liberté that scandalized and enthralled viewers. 56. Jane Fonda in Barbarella. In 1968's Barbarella, Jane Fonda journeyed through space in skin-tight costumes that left little to the imagination. One glittering bodysuit boasted strategic cutouts, a shock to mainstream viewers used to more modest sci-fi attire. The film's campy vibe and heightened visuals made it a cult classic, though initial reactions were mixed. Some called it too racy, others hailed it as a feminist fantasy. Fonda's wide-eyed curiosity and comedic timing lent Barbarella an endearing innocence, despite the risque visuals. The character's self-assured sexuality and unwavering adventurousness hammered home that women could be both sweet and audacious. Decades on, Barbarella remains a touchstone for playful, boundary-testing fashion in film. 57. Ginger Rogers in a white gown. Ginger Rogers's trademark was elegance in motion, exemplified by a striking white gown in a 1940s promotional photo. The design, flowing and off the shoulder, accentuated her graceful frame. Though not overtly scandalous, the fit's gentle reveal of collarbones and shoulders was enough to pique censors' interest. Rogers's storied partnership with Fred Astaire had positioned her as the ultimate dance floor lady, yet this particular image highlighted her innate poise outside of choreography. She appeared ready to captivate a room with a single swirl of that gown's hem. The subtle drama in its cut, plus Rogers's unwavering confidence, helped redefine how glamorous, slightly daring fashion could be mainstreamed into Hollywood's golden musicals. 58. Ida Lupino's chic simplicity. Ida Lupino, a remarkable actress turned director, exuded understated glamour in a photo capturing her in a simple yet stylish dress. No elaborate sequins or plunging necklines, just a sleek silhouette that let her commanding gaze take center stage. She often tackled behind the camera roles, directing gritty dramas when few women even attempted such feats. This minimalist look underscored her pragmatic approach: beauty need not eclipse talent. Traditional critics might have yearned for more ruffles or sparkle, but Lupino's confidence overshadowed any push for flamboyance. By wearing an outfit that was both elegant and free of fuss, she subtly championed competence, highlighting that sophistication and serious artistry can coexist, unhampered by showy conventions. 59. Olivia de Havilland in white lace. Olivia de Havilland, famed for her roles in Gone with the Wind and The Heiress, appeared in a regal white lace gown that draped to the floor. Delicate detailing at the sleeves and neckline gave a refined, dreamlike quality. In a promotional photo, she stands poised, chin slightly lifted, emanating an almost royal composure. The lace accent hinted at romance, but never overshadowed her calm self-assurance. Though not scandalous, the ensemble's quiet sophistication resonated. Critics praised her for maintaining a dignified presence, blending Hollywood glamour with genuine warmth. The image endures as a snapshot of an era when movie stars were revered for polished elegance that transcended fleeting trends. 60. Dorothy Dandridge in a sequined gown. Dorothy Dandridge, a trailblazing African-American actress and singer, stunned audiences with her shimmering sequined gowns in the 1950s. In one radiant photo, each sequin catches the light as she poses with an air of irresistible confidence. For mainstream America, such unapologetic glamour from a black performer was groundbreaking. Censors sometimes balked at the perceived sexual undertones, Dandridge's graceful figure and subtle come-hither glance, but her poise and vocal talent captivated fans worldwide. She broke barriers with a starring role in Carmen Jones, earning an Oscar nomination in a system often closed to minority artists. Which of these timeless moments intrigued you the most? Tell us below. And if you enjoyed this journey through Hollywood's scandalous past, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you won't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching.